there are things on your plate that you're pushing to the side because you're either too scared, you're either all talk and no bite. So I really want to hop on with you guys today to talk about intention. So if you didn't know, intention is one of my brand values, right? So as we know, in your brand, you should have certain foundations that are in line, that align with your personal values, as well as things that you want to represent in your business. And intention is one of those things. And I want to talk to you guys today about why intention is important, how you can begin to develop intention in your business, and 3 things that you have to make sure you keep an eye out for when you're operating with clients, with customers, and even in your own kind of personal space in terms of your business. So we're going to talk about intention, right? So if you guys see me looking over here, I'm just taking a look at my notes really quickly. And if you hear my dog walking around, look, we're working from home, so it is what it is. So the very first thing I want to tell you guys about how to have intention in your business is having efficiency, right? So making sure that we're not wasting time, we're not wasting money, we're not wasting energy. Those are 3 things that are super important to me, right? Because when I work with clients, we could take 3 to 4 months on a project. So we have to make sure that every single thing that we choose to do, has a point, has a reason, and has a goal in mind, right? So a lot of entrepreneurs are saying, oh, I'm gonna start a course, and it takes a year to even start it. You can start with something simple, right? So when you're thinking about intention and specifically making sure that you have efficiency in your brand, you want to know what we're doing and why we're doing it. And when you walk into a meeting, when you walk into a project, you want to have a goal in mind. As a brand strategist, you guys know this is super important to me in general. I'm all about strategy. I'm all about, my pretty with a plan approach, but making sure that even though you're taking the time to sit down and write out the steps to complete it, that you're also writing down the why, right? So there's always a deeper why. Usually the first thing that comes out of someone's mouth isn't exactly what they mean, right? So you want to make sure that you're digging deep, even within yourself and your own business, and even with your clients, to figure out why is the reason we're doing this. Outside of making money, outside of just being good at it, what is your goal? Is your goal to give more women freedom in their life? Is your goal to train other business owners or mentor other business owners in the future to create a kind of army of young entrepreneurs? Think about your true intention and really be efficient in everything that you do in order to push that strategy along. So you always want to make sure that efficiency is ingrained in everything you do. And then next, you want to make sure you have accountability. That's something that's super duper important to me. It's super important that my clients have accountability, because we want to make sure that we're calling out the mistakes, that we're also calling out the wins, that we're also calling out the so-so days. But having accountability and being able to sit down and name that thing is going to be a game changer. So whether you're late on a deadline, whether you're late to a meeting, you don't blame other people. You do away with the excuses and you simply say, I messed up, or I did really well, and here's my plan to continue to do well, or to improve on my mistake that happened in the past. So the very last thing that I want you guys to be mindful of when you're setting intention and when you're promoting intention in your business is being masterful, right? So a lot of the times I talk about having experts and working with experts, but a lot of you guys may not be an expert just yet. You might still be kind of, going through the groove and really sort of figuring out what it is that you do well in the first place. You might have an affinity for public speaking, but maybe you're still working on your presentation. Maybe you're still working on saying like me. Maybe you're still working on having connections and being able to network effectively, right? So you may not be as well known. So you really want to make sure that when you're working through intention in your business, that you're also being intentional about your skill, about coaching, about mentorship, making sure that you're constantly improving yourself, because otherwise, if folks are going to pay you to do business, they need to know that you're constantly working on yourself. Because if they're investing in you, let's say you're a physical trainer, right? If they're investing in you so they can improve themselves, improve their mental health, improve their mental wellness, improve their physical wellness. And if they don't see you doing the same thing, it's kind of like, what am I paying you for? You know, you're not constantly working on being masterful and continuing to be that expert. And if you're not taking that time to be intentional about that aspect, then folks aren't going to invest in you. Making sure that all three things are in line when it comes to intention, right? So efficiency is number one. Making sure that you're not wasting time, money, or energy. Accountability is number two. Making sure that you own up to your mistakes as well as your wins with your client and internally. And then lastly, being masterful and always growing your skills, growing your network, and growing your sort of mentorship pool. So these three things are going to be things that you're always going to want to focus on, even weekly. Making sure that you're sitting down and saying, okay, how am I going to be intentional about my business, about my life? You always want to make sure that you're sitting down. So right now, my goal, because I'm being intentional on making sure that I do this on a consistent basis, but my goal is to sit down every Sunday and say, what are the top 3 things that I want to accomplish this week in my business? What are the top 3 things that I want to accomplish in my personal life? Whether it's doing chores around the house, whether it's working out 5 times a week, you always want to make sure that you're kind of auditing yourself, right? But I would love you guys to DM me, even if you just want to say, hey girl, thanks. Definitely do that.